GOG and Capcom released Dino Crisis 1 and 2 on PC. So I've seen this news a few days back and I wanted to go ahead and do a video on it. I thought it was pretty cool, especially because I've been doing a few videos here and there in regards to Dino Crisis. I think I did one where it was pretty much talking about the release that it was having with PlayStation, and then another one when it was in regards to potentially getting a remake done, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think I did another one as well with the mod that someone had made where they pretty much did like their own remake version of it, which was pretty cool. So seeing this news come out, I think is actually pretty cool. I'm sure there's a lot of Dino Crisis fans are happy to see this, especially because when it came down to Dino Crisis being released on PlayStation, they only had the first game. They didn't have the sequel come along to it as well. So seeing that this is available for GOG, so GOG, I think that's actually pretty cool, and I feel like it should be something that players should be excited about, especially anyone that are some Dino Crisis fans. So we'll go ahead and get into the article, and I'll give my thoughts as we go along. So, Capcom's hit games of the original PlayStation, Dino Crisis 1 and 2, have gotten a re release on PC. This comes not on Steam but through GOG, certifying the title as good old games. While not exactly the new game that players have wanted, the re release is certainly going to please many fans who are always itching for more Dino Crisis. While many have wanted new games in the franchise for quite some time, Shinji Mikami, the creator of Dino Crisis, has said that there is no space for a new entry with the success of Monster Hunter franchise, which I think is really sad because from the videos that I've done and everything like that, and the individuals that have commented on it, it really does seem like Dino Crisis is something that players want a lot. And the fact that the creator of Dino Crisis has made a statement talking about how Monster Hunter franchises is what's preventing them from doing so, I think it's really weird. Because at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, as in a sense, I kind of understand where it's like, well, we got this game we're focusing on, we don't want to go back. I feel like with how many remakes and stuff like that they've been doing with Resident Evil and all that regard, I don't see why they couldn't do that with Dino Crisis as well. Especially because I personally have never played Dino Crisis, but from the looks of it, the way the game is and how it plays and everything like that, because I've watched some other people stream it and everything like that and watch some gameplay, it does look like a fun game, man. And it does look like it's one of those games that has potential to do really well in regards to getting a remake kind of a thing. With, you know what I mean? It having that kind of Resident Evil aesthetic, but with dinosaurs instead of zombies. I feel like this could work so well, you know? But for some reason they don't want to go back to it, which is really weird in my opinion. So Dino Crisis 1 and 2 come in a bundle on GOG, currently selling for $16.99, so about 17 bucks for two games. I mean, that's not bad in my opinion. About 8.50 each pretty much. The games come with plenty of improvements for the PC platform, including compatibility with Windows 10 and 11, cloud saves, high resolution rendering and texture updates. The games also have full support for all modern controls in case mouse and keyboard controls don't feel quite right. This is not the first breath of new life for Dino Crisis in recent years. The original was re released on PlayStation last year, but the second entry was nowhere to be seen. However, now both the first and second entries in the series are available on PC, so it's certainly a great way to start the year for fans of the franchise. What makes Dino Crisis a classic? And yeah, that is one of the cool things, like I stated already, is the fact that they do have both the first and the second game, because I'm sure there's players on the PlayStation that were able to play the first one that probably beat it already, that were kind of curious if that was going to be becoming a thing for them with the sequel coming out. But if they have a PC and they can go back and play it on there, I'm sure a lot of them would be happy to actually be able to play the first as well as the second game, which is pretty cool. Considered a panic horror title by Capcom, Dino Crisis was known for its atmospheric horror and aggressive enemies that changed the genre in 1999 when it was released. The story was compelling, and the different playable modes brought diversity to the gameplay experience that could keep players interested even after finishing the campaign. At the time, Dino Crisis was compared to Resident Evil, a huge compliment for a horror title during that era of video games, while structurally different. The experience was comparable, giving players the same feeling of dread followed by shocking events, and it's no wonder why. Mikami has cited his influence from the Alien and the Lost World Jurassic Park, which Dino Crisis mimicked without copying. And that is one of the cool things was the fact that even when the first Resident Evil game came out, like I've stated before because I've done a few Resident Evil videos here and there, yeah, Resident Evil does kind of have that B horror kind of feel to it, where it's kind of cheesy dialogue and kind of goofy scenes and stuff like that. But for the most part, the game did have that horror creepiness to it, where it did have kind of some jump scares here and there that would get you. And the fact that, Dino Crisis was being able to be compared to it, I'm sure was something that the creators probably really appreciated it, which was pretty cool. And yeah, as far as them going off of like movies like Alien and Jurassic Park, I'm sure that was another, compliment on them that they probably didn't expect to receive when they came out with the game. I'm sure they took influence from it, but to have people actually comparing it to it at the same time, not like criticizing them for it, I think that would have been pretty appreciative on their end. So, Dino Crisis 2, which was released on the following year in 2000, was similarly successful. Although it changed the formula from its predecessor, the sequel was less focused on being a horror game and more of being an arcade style adventure game. It became a worthy following up to the original Dino Crisis, and both games have since amassed an impressive following with combined sales reaching over 3.5 million copies. And with older games like that, I mean, 3.5 million copies probably doesn't seem like a big deal today, in today's market and with the way the games sell now. Being able to sell something like that back in the day, I'm sure was probably a big feat and something that a lot of the developers probably didn't see coming, but we're probably really, happy to see once it actually did come out. So now that the Dino Crisis bundle is on GOG, a new generation of players can experience the onslaught of dinosaurs from another time. Even better, they can enjoy the game with significantly better graphics and controls than ever before, making the experience one for new and old players alike. So yeah, man, I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool that both of the games have been released on GOG, and I'm sure definitely that fans of the franchise and everything like that are gonna be really happy to be able to get the opportunity to go back and play these games. So I think that's cool, man. I think that's awesome and something that can hopefully, once again, as stated, give the companies, the original, the developers, Capcom and them, the possible persuasion to actually come out with either a remake or show that, hey, there's a lot of players that are still wanting this game and still wanting something to come from this franchise. So who knows? I mean, with the creator mentioning that, Monster Hunter is the main focus that they're worried on, again really unfortunate. That kind of sucks, honestly, in my opinion. But at the same time, I'm sure if something like this is successful and it does do really well, there is the possibility that they will be able to have the chance to have them go back to this and actually make a remake or a remaster or something along those lines, which would be really cool in my opinion if they decided to go that route finally. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Are you guys happy that Dino Crisis 1 as well as 2 have been able to come onto the PC finally? So if you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.